Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us on Tuesday night. I'm Ken Marangolo on behalf of First Amendment Sports. Thank God it's Tuesday, the official Commander show of Hogs Haven and First Amendment Sports. He's Tim Strachan.
It's like Christmas week of the NFL calendar.
They're all Christmas weeks.
Well,
I feel
not
like
really.
This is the real.
This is the one where you get like
presents,
an actual present.
All right, I like it. That's one great way to see it. Kevin,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
It is. It's a huge week. We're looking for huge ratings tonight. That's why T's Grundle looks great. It's huge. It looks like you got Daniel Snyder stuff down there.
Appreciate that. Thanks for bringing that. Do it right off
no
the
problem.
bat.
I mean, like, look at it in like a minute after T's forgotten. But like, oh man, we're crushing it over here.
There's about 5 different cameras on there. We have.
I've been sitting like this all day. I'm not gonna stop now.
I wouldn't either, sir.
Are you serious? Like, wait, did anyone suggest you stop? Because I didn't hear those words come out of my mouth. I surely didn't hear Kevin Ricka say anything.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Welcome to Tuesday night. I took a little heat from some random dude about calling it the greatest American holiday, Tuesday. I was
like
it's
for
great.
real? Like he was being
Audio is good. EO right off the bat. Now EO's NES is saying low volume. ES turn me up. It's low volume, but sounds good. You know what? Fix that.
If I were you guys, I'd turn us down too. But
Dang it!
All right, I just gave you all some extra volume. But I love but EO is an actual audio engineer, and so he kind of I like the.
Are you serious, Clark?
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Wow. But yeah, so his
It's a good guy to have on our side.
We can never have enough.
So who was the guy
engineers.
that gave you crap?
I don't know. It's a Twitter guy, but it's and the lighting.
Guy?
So we got the sound for our diehards and the lighting for Ken Harris. He likes it nice and bright. That's what you got tonight. I just brightened it up a little bit here in the basement. You know, there's certain things.
Kev's gray hair helps.
That
It really does.
Put some extra light on.
Look at it go.
It shines when he turns this way, and then it gets darker when he looks the other way.
And the reflection of your crotch off of it. Look at that! Oh man, you're killing it, bro.
It's like a supernova.
It's amazing.
Right
It's amazing.
here
Draft show
in the
ratings.
basement.
Draft show ratings. We have no shame.
None. Not. Oh, why would we start now? Last week we did our rough draft. This week, not the muff draft, which is what people were talking about. Although you are drinking, according to Greg, you're drinking Muff Zero. I think is what zero sugar.
This is what you gave me.
Well, I'm just saying.
This is from your house.
You're drinking Muff Zero.
I was in a rush. I couldn't grab anything on the way out.
It looks delicious. That's all I'm saying.
When you're in a rush,
I appreciate
grab them up.
the non-sugar
Muff
soda
Zero.
drink.
Yes, Muff Zero.
Oh, well. So far, so good, I think, guys. You know, I know. I mean, but listen, it ain't like this over at your house this week, so let's just embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. So, 2 days away from the draft, we're gonna pick 16th probably, and let's start ticking down some things that have happened since last time we talked. The most notable one is that they finally consummated the Aaron Rodgers to the Jets deal. And it's cool because it doesn't affect us really at all, right? They were both picking ahead of us. They're both still picking ahead of us.
It's just another $50 million quarterback for our $1 million quarterback to go up against on our schedule this year. That's all.
There you go. In
So you
New York.
did not include him in that?
No, I
statistic?
did. I did. This cements it. I did. I said this is obvious.
That's right. You did.
Right.
You did caveat, yeah.
But yeah, this makes it official, which I love. I can't wait.
I think it's a great deal for the Jets personally. I thought it was the thing that fascinated me was if you look back last year when Denver Broncos were hot to trot for Aaron Rodgers and they ended up trading for Russell Wilson, the deal that the Seahawks got for Russell Wilson that we just have to believe they would have gotten at least as good for Aaron Rodgers because they turned around and paid Russell Wilson, damn close to $45-50 million anyway. So money wasn't a thing. Seattle got a first, second, and a third, or a first, second, and a fourth, something like that in this year's draft, and a first and a second in next year's draft. Plus, they got like 3 players.
And the best version of Geno Smith ever.
Yeah, Seattle just straight up won, obviously, but like the Jets didn't get that, I'm sorry, the Packers didn't get that, and I think it's so. This is like my philosophical throw out to you guys to ruminate on, and that is
Philosophically ruminating.
People who don't give up soon enough. People who don't. If you're gonna get rid of Brett Favre, get rid of Brett Favre when you could still, maximize the value for your team. If you're gonna get rid of
send him to the Jets.
If you're gonna get rid of Aaron Rodgers,
Jets.
I mean, they just seem to always be like just a day late in terms of. I mean, as opposed to guys in our division like a certain name Andy Reid, who always seemed to be right on the money, getting rid of guys right when it was the right exact moment, getting maximum value. I just think the Packers. I don't understand what they're up to, and.
Well, in 2020, when they drafted Love, everything, that was it. Like, it all got weird, right?
Yes.
I mean, they were like, here's your replacement.
Still weird.
It's still weird.
Here's your replacement. He's going to stare at you every day. And if you know Rodgers, he's a bit of an oddball himself. That's not just.
They did that to him and Favre.
Yep.
Yeah.
They absolutely did.
Here's the sad thing. They still have done everything a way lot better than this franchise has ever done.
Well, they haven't drafted
so they're doing
that
something
great.
Right.
And had 8 million years of Hall of Fame quarterback, which.
I know. We would all trade Tease Grundle for a chance at that kind of run for quarterbacks.
There's going to need to be. Never mind. Fair deal.
Fair
deal. It's a fair deal. These big deals, they get me squeamish.
That said, I will say, and we won't start it officially this week, and I hope you guys will allow me to do this when we get to the new graphic machine, but. The odds on Jets futures and Aaron Rodgers futures like 4 months ago were just spectacular.
I'm looking at you through the screen,
and somebody got in on that super early, and it was a risk. Like, if anyone can screw something up, I think we've all learned that like the Jets could totally screw something up, and the Packers have proven time and time again that. Like, they'll just pay a guy $60 million to be their quarterback for another year. Why not? So, but we're gonna start figuring stuff like that out on this show. Just one move a week. It's not gonna be a gambling show, but one move a week, based on our basement collective knowledge.
Asking for tea. Can it be a dance move?
Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
Without a doubt, a chess move. Maybe?
Fine.
Sure.
All
Of course.
I like that. I mean, listen, it's always fun to talk about the action. The action's
Got to talk about the action.
Fun.
Got to talk about the action, and unlike the Packers, getting in on the action before it changes than after it changes. So, anyways, I agree. I disagree with you, Greg Martin. I know, shockingly, he's a little bit curmudgeonly down on this deal for the Jets. I think that the Jets are going to do great. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a sick year. I mean, assuming he stays upright and healthy, but which I think is going to be the case. But I got him taking that team straight into the postseason and challenging the Bills right out of the gate for. I mean, and why are people so willing to doubt Aaron Rodgers? I mean, he is turning 40 years old, but I mean, for God's sake.
I don't doubt him.
I don't understand.
I call him a weirdo. I doubt his dating decisions.
Yes.
But I don't doubt him on the football field spinning that rock. Jesus.
Name me an elite quarterback that's been left out of the playoffs recently.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Denver.
Denver.
He's borderline.
Carson Wentz. But we digress.
You get my point.
I totally get your point. I think he's the real deal. And we'll see. The interesting thing about, not that we're going to talk about the Jets all night, but Zach Wilson, talk about living with like your mistakes. So they draft this guy. He doesn't.
You talking about him fooling around with his mom's best friend?
His mom's culpable in a lot of this.
I understand.
Right.
And her friends.
Yeah.
But Zach Wilson is like, of all, I think it's the coolest thing about it is Aaron Rodgers is his hero, and everyone knows that he has to figure it out, or else he's going to be in the XFL or USFL super fast. And these guys have huge egos. He's already wealthy beyond his dreams.
He's already planned a party with his mom and his friends to invite.
I understand, but all I'm saying is if he takes advantage of this opportunity, he still has a chance in this league that he wouldn't have had if Aaron Rodgers didn't take this job.
But he also has said he's going to make his life hell in practice every day. Well, he said that about whoever the quarterback would be coming into Jetsville after he was supposed to save the franchise.
Of course.
So I think he's going to have to,
But they're friends. They've known each other for a while.
I mean, why wouldn't they be friends?
Yeah.
He's completely harmless.
harmless. But he Aaron Rodgers has mentored him already.
Good.
It's already
good.
In the past has decided
Good.
to
So
take him under.
so that's good because no one mentored Aaron Rodgers because Brett Favre declined to, and he just got out of a cave for X amount of hours, and he's I don't know if he's the best. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck to everyone.
I mean,
I'm starting to think Greg Martin might not be so far off base, but not about this year, just the future of the Jets. Because this is an all or nothing 1 year to 2 year shebang here from Woody.
Maybe
That's
1
what
year.
Steals do. Look what's happening in LA, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
which
Stafford.
you know what?
Yeah.
If I'm a fan, I don't give a crap. If we could push it all in right now, and I'm kind of thinking, and we'll get to it later, we haven't seen anything crazy from Rivera. If he thinks he's on a 1 year deal, post June 1st designation
Riverboat
shit
Ron,
could get nuts,
dude.
and this draft is going to teach us about what path we're heading on. But I think he's got to take a couple swings at it, doesn't he?
That's the tricky
Riverboat's
self.
already
Doesn't he
gambling.
have to take a swing or two here?
Absolutely, and it's super
Not in the
responsible
post-draft
not to do
swings.
This $55-60 million swing on a one guy. We're not one player away. Also, we don't even talk about that. Aaron Rodgers wasn't coming here. He didn't want to come here.
No, I don't care about
The
that.
Packers didn't trade
No.
him to whoever the Packers wanted to. Aaron
He
Rodgers
wasn't
picked
coming
his
to
team.
Landover.
Stafford didn't want to come here. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we have to be. We still have to build a spot where that guy wants to come here, and I think we will. I think we will. But that's coming. But this offseason, Ron Rivera is on a 1 year deal.
No doubt.
He's a
Everyone is.
straight up
I
1 year
think.
deal. So,
We're not. We'll be back next year.
We'll be back next year.
Because
but
Gluttons
so
for punishment.
There will be some money freed up. There will be a guy out there who can help us, and Ron Rivera is going to go after him, and it'll be interesting to see what it is because it could literally be a lot of things, depending on how we go in this draft. So let's get right into the draft for a second. We can dip in and out of it. Well, but first of all, at the top of the show, I'd like to tell the board I really enjoyed when we did best movie fight scene or best TV movie fight scene draft. Now, it was a lightning round draft, just a quick one. I just want to kind of stretch our draft wings tonight. So I want the board to come up with a couple ideas, and then we'll, on the fly, do a quick lightning round draft of an idea like that. No one does it better than you guys. So I'm going to be on the lookout for something along those lines. But the what are you saying, Greg, about post June 1st? Yeah, we're gonna cut some costs and sign some guys. That's for sure.
yeah, and I'm talking about like a 1 year guy, a couple 1 year toys
Yes.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And-
but we've also talked about other teams that are going to have to let some people go for
Oh, yeah.
for
Hell
business
yeah.
reasons. So there will be people out there.
There'll be people out there. So let's dip into the draft talk by saying this. I've been joined by you guys and actually Kevin, not so much T, but and a lot of folks out there by saying, for example, if Joey Porter Jr. is available when we draft, we race to the podium and draft him. Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, those kinds of guys.
all three of those guys.
get one of
Those are my
those guys.
3 corner races. Like, fine.
So with a week, having had a chance to look at what we did last week and having had a chance to do another 7 days of all the rabbit holes that are out there in a week before the NFL draft, if it's true that this draft is full of first and second round corners that can start in this league, and if it's true that if you want a corner in the first or second round, you can get them, that we're not going to miss out by not taking one in the first round, if that's true, then are we better served taking, for example, an offensive lineman or a tight end at number 16, and a best available type scenario, and getting that starting corner in the second round? I'm not saying it is, but all I'm saying is I'm hearing a lot of people get excited about second round corners. I'll take 2 of them, I guess, but at the same time, wouldn't it be cool if you could get a starting corner in the second round and an offensive lineman or tight end in the first? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not coming off Joey Porter Jr. right now.
100%. I think that's the move. I think if you sit there and you've been drafting or mock drafting like we all have been, everyone, you know how many times I've hit reset in the last 48 hours? I'm like, just try it again. It's not working for me. This is not working for me. It's so much fun to do, though. Getting that O lineman first, I think if it's a tackle, you can jump up and then get that second round corner. I think if you want to jump up and get that premier corner, you got to jump up in that second round and get a guard, center, interior offensive lineman. That's just how it's hashed out over the hundreds of thousands of times that I think I've done this over the last few months. As a fan, not as an exec. And by the way, I base this off of reading what the execs see as they watch film, or what they're reporting on, who we've paid attention to, who's in our top 30 interviews, who we were at the Senior Bowl talking about, and just general knowledge that we've been given as a fan base, not anything inside in the least. So that's the fun part of this, the fan portion. The
fun part of this.
If you can, that's the cherry on top. To be fair.
Go ahead. Sorry, you're
no, but I think if you can get that premier tackle, obviously, let me just say this: I think most of us feel this way. If we could, obviously, trade back 6 to 15 spots, maybe not so many, maybe 7 to 12 spots, and pick up another guy in the top 100, that'd be just what the doctor ordered, I think. So I think we all are rooting for something along those lines. If that does not occur, and one of those 3 cornerbacks were there, amazingly excited to have that, and then get to that second round. Now we'll get to the rest, but if one of those big O linemen drops, that's when the decisions start happening. That's when, does Emmanuel Forbes last till 47? Is he good even though he's only 178 pounds? Is he as badass of a player as I think he could be?
Yeah. Well, there's guys who will get drafted at corner in the second round who will start right away. They could start on our team. They could start on a lot of teams. Are they Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, or Joey Porter Jr.? Probably not. Deonte Banks, for that matter, probably not. But again, history tells us 1 or 2 of those guys is going to be really good right away. All 4 of those guys could be good in a career, but there's going to be 1 or 2 guys drafted in the second round who are going to be really good right away because they're going to go to the right team and they're going to get the right opportunity and they're going to coach the right way. The idea of talking about guys like Anton Harrison or Darnell Wright, slipping all the way to us. That's
Harrison will be there, I think. Right,
yeah, of course.
Right is an awesome thought process. That's a great option. He's somebody we've been all over. The Commanders and the basement. We've sung his praises. We would take a man like that right away, wouldn't we? Shore up that offensive line.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Well, then here's the everyone talks about trading back. Obviously, it goes without saying we would love to trade back, add the extra picks.
Of course.
We are going to love the one we're with in the first round, whether it's at 16 or in 20 to 30. I mean, it's going to be just fine for us. Whatever player we get is going to fit right in and start right away and be good, and we're going to love them. So trading back would be ideal. But like the thought process behind the effort to trade back, the idea is interesting in the context of the organization being in the sales process right now. So we're not going to talk a lot about Josh Harris or Dan Snyder or Mary Jo White tonight, but what we will talk about is in an organizational ownership change, it is, and all these guys are on 1-year deals. I don't think that we have any reason to believe that Josh Harris or anybody else for that matter has said word one to Ron Rivera about anything going on Thursday night. But it's a opportunity for when someone comes in, if you can just add that 1 or 2 extra picks in next year's draft. Now, if Ron Rivera does a good job, they're his picks. If he doesn't, they're the next guy's picks. And in both scenarios, we the fans win. So not just adding players in this draft, but if you're able to put an extra second rounder on the board next year, or first rounder for that matter, or a couple thirds, or however it works out, if you're able to put extra picks in on an ownership change scenario, because it doesn't happen very often. There's going to be upheaval. There's going to be front office personnel moving and shaking and changing almost no matter what. So extra bullets in the holster. In that specific scenario, to me, is what I would want.
And of course, we all want that. Now, know this: the last 4 years, the recent trend, there's been no trade backs from top 10 picks in the last 4 drafts. The hot spot for the last 4 years has been those teenage picks. That's when people are starting to figure out, all right, the big dogs are gone, or whatever it may be, based on your franchise. We're sitting right there in the middle. Smack dab in it. So there could be, but Les, we do need a partner to trade back. We should right away, depending on who it would be, whether it's the Jacksonville 24 and 56 swap, which has been the popular one that I've seen all over the place talked about because they're
Do
there.
it all day.
So would I. I think that would certainly get us back in to that second round. And anytime you want me to talk about the dangers of the second round historically in this franchise,
especially for us.
I thought it was third round. That was bigger for us.
third round is a round, and we've done well in the first round in recent years, specifically.
Right in our same spot that we're in now.
Right in our spot.
16, 17.
It's a great spot. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it real quick and just say it. Just a little 1 minute sidebar. 50 years of second round picks. 50 years of second round picks.
We writing this down?
50 years of second. Our last 50 years. It happens too late, Ken. We've had 3 total Pro Bowl seasons. Not guys. 3 guys have had 1 Pro Bowl season in 50 years. And that pick. One of those gentlemen.
Oh, wait, can we guess who it is?
Yes.
All right.
You can guess them all. You
years,
know them all.
50 years.
We all know them all.
3 guys have each made 1 Pro Bowl. That's it.
Second round picks.
Not multiple Pro Bowls. They've each made 1.
One. In 50 years, the second round has given the fan base 3 seasons of Pro Bowl football. And it's really hard. Now, it's a great guess.
He actually would have.
While you guys are ruminating, I learned that from you earlier.
Bring it back.
One of our last 12 second round picks re-signed with our franchise. One of our last 12. I'm not saying this is a trivia contest.
Sure.
But only one of our last 12 second round picks.
Chris Cooley was not in the second round, I didn't think.
No, he was
a third rounder, I believe. I think we traded back up into the third round to get Chris Cooley.
Third or fourth? Was he? I think you might be right though.
Yeah, Chris Cooley was third round. EGH says. I think we traded up for him. That was a Joe Gibbs pick. Fred Davis, no Fred Davis. Jason Campbell was in the first round, so that wouldn't work.
And he never made a Pro Bowl, which kind of surprised me because, well, back then they actually had real Pro Bowl rules. Now, like, you just show up and you sign X amount of autographs, or like, you're an alternate, bro. Well done.
Running back?
Well done.
And you get to play Nerf
No,
football.
zero running backs.
Tail on the end of the
ball.
In
fact, well, I don't want to blow it for you, but
no offensive players is what you were going to say.
No, that's not true. Because there's no defensive player.
Yeah, I knew it was one of them. I just coaxed out a hint. All right, here's where we're gonna go. We're gonna definitely go in the second round. It's got to be a lineman then. At that point, at least one.
There is one lineman. I don't know how long you want to go with this for.
Jansen, Johnny J.
Fred Smoot never actually made a Pro Bowl. Also, kind of surprised me. But back in the day, like I said, that's when like 2 guys made it, not like 13 and their social media advisor.
Was John Jansen not right?
No, couldn't believe he never made one.
Really?
He never made a Pro Bowl.
1 year. He didn't make a Pro Bowl.
He played with 2 broken thumbs.
For
God's sake. I know.
Okay.
I felt you. I was a little pissed off about that. But
second rounder, for goodness sake. Yeah. So it's got to. I'm hoping it's a tackle, but it doesn't sound like it is.
It's not. It's not.
Sound like
in fact, it's a guard.
Yeah.
And we loved him in the era he played in. He was a great player. Played his college football on the East Coast.
Josh Laribas?
No.
I don't even think he was in the first 10 rounds.
You think Laribas was a Pro Bowler?
No, I don't. I think he might have bought a ticket to one of those before.
But 50 years is a lot of years, man. We stink at the second round. Trey Johnson is your man. That's your. Now there's another offensive player and another guy.
So gonna
who's not a defensive player.
Not Tressway because we didn't draft him in the second round.
You're getting warmer.
It's gonna be Jeff Hayes.
Similarly lukewarm.
Okay.
Warmer.
Okay. We went.
I said there's only one more offensive player, and
Mike Nelms. Or am I going away?
Come on, think about the best special teams player maybe in Redskins history.
Mitch?
Not the former MVP.
Best. All right. Darn it. Not Cliff Branch.
Cliffy.
Cliff.
All right. We don't want to.
Oh, was it Preston?
Chip.
Lowmiller.
In 1991. Chip Lowmiller. So not only in our 50 seasons have we only had 3 seasons of Pro Bowl in this, but one was the kicker.
So Chip Lowmiller.
He ran down on kickoffs
Trey
like a maniac,
Johnson.
though. He mauled people.
And a wide receiver has to be the third guy.
No, he's not a wide receiver. He's a tight end, and he had his best years elsewhere in division.
Okay.
Was a teammate also of Trey Johnson's.
Okay. Jimmy Johnson. He was one. He was a turn for us, but that was not.
No, he was like a
Jordan. Not Jordan. I think he concussed himself right out of the league. All right, so
caught a lot of passes, made a lot of plays. Very good, very good
us?
player. Very good player. He was a Pro Bowler for us in 2000. In 2000.
Damn it. Okay, God, that was Norv Turner. The Norv Turner year.
2000.
The Norv Turner years were so hard. I mean, I watched every second of it.
This guy was a good player.
That was
man.
when I was drinking heavily.
They lulled you right to sleep. Did he?
One of our last 12 is re-signed with the program.
One of our last 12 second rounds has re-signed as a corner.
No, I'm not. No. Forget about who it is.
Just the fact that it just won.
That was your Fred Davis guess. Although he never made a Pro Bowl.
No.
We did re-sign Fred Davis because, let's be honest, he was pretty popular around town.
Sleepy? You know? Everyone loves Sleepy. All right, give me the initials of the tight end. That's
S.A.
Sammy Reyes? No. Scott Allen?
Can I just say it?
Yeah, please.
This is getting stagnant. Steven Alexander.
Oh!
He was a good player, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, and if you again, right player for the coach at the time. If you were a tight end or a running back, if you were an offensive skill player under Norv Turner, and you were going to be okay.
Since the dawn of 7 rounds in the NFL draft, the Washington Redskins have only had the least amount of Pro Bowlers from the 7th round than the 2nd. Every other round, it's ridiculous how bad we are in the 2nd round historically. It's a bit of a shitty ass thing. So let's just always trade our 2nd.
Trade our 2nd for a first next year.
For 2/3 every year. If we can trade our 2nd for 2/3 every year, we're gonna hit the big time. Okay. It's analytics. It's obviously it's analytics. If you see the pen and how many script scratches with no whiteout, you'll understand the analytics. Let's go.
No matter who's picking.
Let's get off this terrible topic of whatever. I was supposed to be 1 minute.
So I like the idea of getting rid of I like the idea of adding picks for next year, but not at the expense of making Ron Rivera vulnerable this year, because I do believe
Ron doesn't have an incentive to do that for somebody next year.
Sure he does. He has the incentive to do it for himself. I mean, again, he's not going to do it to create a hole.
More of it to help himself this year.
Well, but we just told him that you're not getting anybody in the 2nd round, Ron.
just don't take the pick.
Just refuse to take the pick. I choose
let it
not
expire.
To pick. Roll it over.
Can we pay nothing and not take the pick?
Yeah.
Can we just not have the pick?
Because
if we did that for 50 years, this franchise would be in a hell of a better position.
It's just genius.
My daughter asked me yesterday.
We decline.
Yesterday, she goes, if you just don't like your pick, can you just not pick? I was like,
and
we have a lot to talk about.
What's the line from
with the 47th pick? The football team, Commander Redskins select hard pass. Hard effing pass, league.
That's a hell of a strategy, Cotton.
The Interpol Coast Guard.
But really, is it that bad? No, trade it for 2/3 and just let's get back into business.
So the idea of maybe getting that corner, because the corner's going to start for us. If we draft a corner in the 1st and 2nd round, he's probably going to start for us. So the idea...
Can I just say something?
Yeah, please.
Because I had my doubts this morning about that. I was like, of course he's going to start for us. But St. Juice has been playing his ass off in year 3. And Kendall Fuller's in the final year of a contract, and he's the leader of that position group.
Correct.
And at this point, we just re-signed Danny Johnson, and we're not going to sign a guy that, like, right now, Joey Porter Jr. is specifically not a slot corner. So now we'd have to tell Kendall to go back to his a place where he's very comfortable.
I think it'd be St. Juice, though, don't you think?
Kendall was the guy that he played in the slot, but Kendall came back here to play outside, and St. Juice is a boundary dude with that length. I mean, I don't know.
Kendall gets tested a lot.
He does, and he's in a contract year, which makes me think maybe get the big, huge guy first and get the cornerback in the 2nd round. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Kendall Fuller's in a position. He's in a lame duck year, though, to be honest, and he hasn't lit the world on fire. He doesn't have a ton of accolades. He's a good player for us. We love him because he's a local boy done well, but, like, let's be honest, like, man, he could be someone that is there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of weird things that could happen. Kendall Fuller, like, I don't know what the board thinks or you guys think, but today it kind of hit me like final year for Kendall Fuller, a kind of weird thing.
Because it's a final year of a lot of guys coming up, and I was on the same path that you were on. If you get the 2nd round corner this year and put him on the field, you still have the option to get a first or second round corner again next year if you let Kendall walk. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you want to get younger, bigger, stronger, faster at one of the most important positions on the field, which is corner.
I don't think we're investing a ton of money into Kendall Fuller. You know, I don't want any trouble with saying that, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Anyway, I don't think I don't think he's the future.
No, and I think, Ken, you said it best earlier when you're talking about the draft. If you just take names away and you use just their positions, you make this team better by going lineman first and cornerback later. If you go cornerback first and lineman later, I don't think you're making this team a whole lot better.
So the quality of lineman that you would get to start for you in the second round is less than the quality of corner you can get to start for you in the second round. I buy that.
Well, what I said earlier was the tackles are going to be gone if we don't get them in the first round, but the guard, the value of who's out there, and I just said it to the camera, and I don't want to. Steve Avila from TCU is a built guard. He would start here for 10 years if we were smart, and he's a guy that, if available, but there's not many guards. A big Osiris from Florida is a mammoth beast. Yeah. I would love to see him on our side, but I don't want him with that 16th. No. But I mean, certainly he's going to go before that 47th, and if he's still sitting there, those two guys are dudes that you plug and play right now. We get rid of our boy. Like, these guys are guys that fit the exact scheme. Then you got Wiley and Leno outside, and you got Cosme moving in with homeboy right here. And I'm not saying we're not going to get a center later. We'll get to that. But we also have a guy that we took in free agency to give ourselves the ability to be flexible, that we didn't need to go and get a guy in the second round that's a specific center, because we have a guy that can play it. And another guy who's played it damn well for us, who we hope we can have back next year. But if not, we'll get a bunch of money back. So there's so many cool options at that spot.
And speaking of one-year deals, even though it's not a contractual one-year deal, we did put the full court press and the wine, dine, and 69 on Eric Bieniemy to come here and be our offensive coordinator.
That's why he came here? There were so many nationwide questions.
That's all it took?
It was
so simple. But effective.
It was very effective. And I just got to everything we talked about already, plus that, leads me to believe that there may be a little bit of push, so to speak, on the offensive player in the first round. That offensive lineman that he wants, or the tight end for that matter. Now, I understand I'm not pushing for a tight end. I'm not pulling for a tight end either. I'm not pushing or pulling any tight ends. All I'm saying is this. We brought in a guy.
Are you going to 69 a tight end?
No, I'm not 69 in anything. Just 16ing him. If we can 16 a tight end, I might be okay with that. I'm just saying Eric Bieniemy is going to have some say in this. He is coming in. Ron Rivera sold him, I'm guessing. Ron Rivera sold him on, hey, listen, we all might be out of a job in 12 months.
You try to get 16?
We might all be out of a job in 12 months. And Eric had to have said, hey, I want to run my offense, but I need this and this, whatever that is. And Ron Rivera may have said, we draft number 16 in the first round, and the guy who you want at guard or the guy who you want at tight end will be there, and that might not be the best ultimate decision. I think there's going to be a little bit of mixing in of the whole 1 year deal in every single one of these picks. Like, if we pick a tight end and everyone tries to find everything wrong with it, just remember these guys are on 1 year deals. Like, if you think that you can't run this offense without someone better than Logan, fine, take Kincaid or Michael Mayer or one of these guys. That could be the big spend.
I don't want no tight ends first round.
I understand. But all I'm saying is when we talk about Ron Rivera treating himself and Eric Bieniemy treating himself and on the 1 year deal, that could be where it manifests itself. And maybe that's.
I hear your point.
Yeah,
I hear your point. I just hope it's not at that position.
Sure.
Nothing to do with anything. Just there's some fun guys, and forget about our 1 year crap. Of course, don't forget about it. But just if you take that out of that, there's a lot of great offensive linemen early and cornerbacks early. It just happens to be that we do need both. So I think that's the fun part.
Yeah, that is.
But that doesn't mean we have to only your boy Bijan slides. Your boy Jameer has been climbing up.
I want Jameer, but we're not getting it.
I'm just saying that there's There's a scenario that gets. There's a trade back scenario that lands a corner, offensive lineman, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
If we have Jahmyr Gibbs, I will be
with B. Rob. Get the Alabama background in there. Bijan, you got B. Rob
and trade Antonio
B.
Gibson.
Rob. I mean, we got a bunch of B. Robs if we get Bijan. But I get that. We don't really want to talk about Bijan. We don't.
I know.
But there's a lot of people that have to have that conversation right when he slides right in front of their face.
Running back?
Well,
that would make no sense.
So but he's kind of put himself into a position with his ability to do everything. He's a Saquon Barkley-esque.
You're talking about Bijan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want Jahmyr over Bijan.
I do not want Bijan on our team until we have him on our team, and then I'm going to cheer my butt off. But
I'm with you on that.
Because of what T said.
Yeah,
I agree. It's like, okay. But the value of it, I think he might kind of make it a little bit different, but he better hit. Because if he misses, that's a horrible swing.
Yes. And yes. I'm Jahmyr all day long, and I can't wait.
He catches the ball.
I mean, if you take a tight end,
his boy,
powerful.
he's going to come play with his boy, and his boy is in the D line.
Or if you take a tight end, he better be Kelsey.
Or better. Agreed.
Yeah.
And Alabama has been Betty good to us.
So, all right. So I like. Can I try?
Well, it's yours, and I love the fact that I get to drink it. Well, it's ours now.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I didn't want to just after that last conversation. I thought maybe you should handle the ice for you, and I'll just do it for me.
Yeah.
And then for T, we both reach in at the same time, and then we throw it in this general direction.
I think we now. I love like draft. The other thing about the dynamic of what Ron's got going on. First of all, he's played this so smart and close. You say close to the vest. This is the perfect example of close to the vest. Everyone in the world knows if he doesn't get us to the playoffs, he's gone. Probably, most likely, right? So I think, and everyone also knows that he's calling every single shot. I mean, you could make your argument about Mayhew or the Martys as a collective and Jason Wright. And
we've really only heard about Martin Mayhew.
Only heard about Martin Mayhew.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all I've heard about.
A little bit.
And then that's all we've seen. But yeah, go ahead. I just wanted to.
Well, I think that draft day trade of guys who are in the last year of their contract here. I don't know that guys will be moved, and I don't know that we'd move guys. I mean, you're talking about there's some guys, right? I mean, not just Chase, not just Montez, not just Gibson, not just Fuller, not just Curtis Samuel. I mean, there's some names out there that we don't. That I'm not saying goodbye.
Can I jump on Gibson real quick?
Please.
Because we just went Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, the whole nine. Remember last year, Gibson fumbled twice the entirety of the season the year before, and he was fourth in the NFL in carries. We're coming into preseason camp, and all of a sudden there's this, like it was almost like a campaign on Gibson's fumbleitis in the preseason, and there's two. Ron Rivera made a huge thing of it, and then kind of benched him. Remember, and then some idiot shoots our freaking stud in the ass by the zoo, and next thing you know, we have to re-embrace Antonio Gibson.
And he did great.
And he did, and he was fine, and he didn't fumble. That was not the issue. It felt like to me Ron was creating an issue. I do not believe Ron is an Antonio Gibson guy. I do believe we drafted Brian Robinson in the 3rd round, and Antonio Gibson was a 2nd-round cat. I think that 3rd pick, and if we can move back with one, really becomes valuable there because I think that becomes a point. We're not going to draft a guy in the 6th round just to have depth. No. I don't think that's what Ron Rivera is thinking right now.
Nope.
And there's one guy that we've been paying super attention to with that 3rd round pick, and that's Chase Brown from Illinois. And he's the type of guy that is a home run threat.
Yes.
And he is jacked, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's kind of the perfect guy to go with Brian Robinson. So my question real quick to everybody is, is Antonio Gibson, is he a guy that you're going to be broken up about if he's gone this week? Because I think he's one of the guys that could be mentioned. I know he's in a contract year, and that's not a huge value. But or could we move him to a spot in this offense to use for a year with Eric Bieniemy as a wideout, which he was, and
I think what we saw last year was a Robinson came in here as a seasoned running back, right? I mean, he
absolutely
he has done the drills, incessantly for years. He's ran the position for years.
He's the real
Gibson
deal.
wasn't like that.
No.
And then when you say Gibson or Rivera is not a Gibson guy, I don't think he thinks Gibson is a starting running back in this league. But I would be interested to know or see what Eric Bieniemy could do with a Gibson, not as a straight up runner, but as sort of what they did with Samuel.
With what Eric Bieniemy did with Jerick McKinnon.
It's very interesting.
Yeah,
If you
very
look at
interesting.
Jerick McKinnon,
Yes.
what Eric Bieniemy did with Jerick McKinnon was awesome. He lined up in the backfield. He caught a ton of balls.
Ran outside.
He had
only.
drives that were all his packages.
Outside
He and in the second half, they worked a fresh pair of legs. I think Eric Bieniemy can do a ton with Antonio Gibson.
Yes.
The flip side of trading Antonio Gibson in the lead up to the draft this week is very simple. Running backs are not the hottest of commodities in the National Football League any longer. You can always get a 20 to 22-year-old guy coming out of college who can carry the rock and catch balls. Maybe can't block right away, but can be a skill player right away, and then make peanuts. So I don't know that there's a lot of teams out there who would be jumping at the chance for Antonio Gibson. And at the same time, for us, we're not paying him a ton of money.
Right.
He's not due a ton of money. Like if he becomes a free agent, we sign him for something or we don't sign him for anything.
Or we just keep him on the team and give him a role.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
we drafted it and we
Exactly.
got him. And guess what? He's an athlete,
Correct.
and that's why I love what he's suggesting is let Bieniemy deal with this problem. Because he's got an offense that suggests there's some stuff that this guy can do that can be very beneficial to our team.
I think he's. So let's talk about this, and we can let me know how you guys ring on this and board. Let me know how you ring on. By the way, I got a great draft option from the board already. Still soliciting.
Well done,
Still
board,
soliciting
as usual.
board draft ideas for tonight.
Can we use a different word?
Board draft
Solicitation.
ideas. Solicitation. There was no solicitation.
The solicitators? Are you talking?
there's two
you're
lawyers
referring
in
to
this
them as
room.
solicitors?
There's two lawyers in this room, and they both represent us. Okay, so
I'm
in a
not-
draft
I'm not
war
one of them.
room, for the last 20 plus years in the draft
The
war
law
room.
doesn't make it any less creepy.
Well, you're in charge of the creepiness because you're the general counsel. The rule of the war room was Dan Snyder makes the final decision on everything, even when he said he wasn't, even when he said he wouldn't, even when he said he didn't want it.
How's he going to do that shit from T's pants this year?
Oh,
I'm
not talking about this
nerd.
year. I'm just saying, in the draft war room for us, this would be the first time it's different. In the draft war room for us previously, Vinny and Dan, Bruce and Dan, Spurrier and Dan, Shanahan and Dan, Turner and Dan, you name it.
Shanahan and Dan.
It was
pretty good.
Dan's hands were way up in the puppeteering of all those people that I said that for visual aid. So, in our war room Thursday, most important voice in the room, we all agree is
Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera, number one in the hood. Second most important voice in the Washington Commanders football draft room has to be
Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy. Without a doubt, it has to be Eric Bieniemy.
Well, we didn't bring him here for nothing.
We didn't bring him in for nothing, and that's over our scouting department. Because he hasn't worked with our scouting department for the last however many years. That's over Hurnley. That's over Mayhew. That's over Jason Wright. That's over everybody.
Why is Jason Wright in the room?
Because he is.
Oh,
He is.
Okay.
It's over Julie Donaldson as well.
she's in the room?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't
What
know.
about Bram? Where does Bram go?
He's over Bram.
get Bram
way
something
over-
I
cold
was
to
in a
drink
room
and a
with Bram the
sandwich?
other day.
All right.
No more muff solicitations on the board for 5 minutes. 5 minute break. Well, first of
You're
all, by the way,
muting Muff?
J Dubs,
You're
A
muting Muff
Team,
on the
NES
board?
Tecmo, all you guys, Greg, AGH, Rhett.
You know your shit, and it's so much fun to talk it with you.
Are you allowed to
It's
mute the
best.
Muff?
No, I'm not muting anything. I'm just
Yeah,
talking
you
about
just said-
solicitations.
You just said,
Solicitation.
oh.
Just no more solicitation.
How do you mute them up?
There's
It's a
solicitations.
rowdy.
No.
Okay,
It's a
wait,
rowdy
I'm so
bunch.
confused.
Andiamo, NES Tecmo said way at the beginning. That was the first comment of the night.
As general counsel, am I going to have to get involved on the board's activity here of solicitating Muff?
As your bartender friend, let me revert back to 3 minutes ago when you suggested that someone was doing something of a digital thingy.
Yeah, you did digitally suggested some things.
All right.
So All right. So, and I, you know what? I'm going to say that's it. Those are the voices. Those are the people that matter. That's the decision making. It's Ron Rivera. It's Eric Bieniemy, and it's the two of them. And there's going to be other people saying a lot of things. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It's Ron and Eric, right?
And I love when Eric's like, listen, this is what I need out of this position. And this is what I would like. And here's where we're putting our money. And this is what we did here. And those conversations I would love to be a fly on the wall for. Our scouting department has to be going like, this is so great. This is so good. He actually knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And there's no Dan or any Brucey or anybody. It's just
and JDR is still in the house.
Fine.
And he's still loud.
He knows what the hell he wants.
When you talk about voice and volume, yes, he's talking and he's being loud. But he's the second ranked former linebacker in the decision making process.
And forget about all that. And I just want to say this: we're not trying to just throw all the here, take it all, new guy. It's that Jack Del Rio, he's pretty well set. He's got that D line racked up. He's got some badass safeties. He's got some functional corners. We could use one more. We got two linebackers that have played meaningful NFL downs and performed very well. We sure could use a little help there. But what I'm saying is there's so many different ways to turn offensively. And in fact, you can just turn to the O-line once, twice, maybe even three times if you got to with a tight end. So
correct.
There's so many more things we need on that side. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Jack Del Rio doesn't need to be sitting there in every single thing going, I need this, I need that, because he doesn't. Because he's got some dudes, and he just needs to be sitting there figuring out where to put the chess pieces.
We talked about it a few minutes ago, and I didn't say it, and I haven't seen it on the board, but I think we're all thinking it, and we should all be thinking it, and that is the opportunity for Kendall Fuller to evolve into either a Buffalo nickel or a depth safety on this roster in the twilight of his career. He played safety. We all know he played safety in Kansas City. Famously had the game-clinching interception for them at safety.
And he played a lot of nickel that year,
and he played a lot of nickel. Yeah. So his career,
on the inside, he can play the inside. Yes. So
if he wants to be, if he's if he has a baller year and he becomes a hot commodity as a corner, go get that money. But if he wants to sign a long-term deal to stay home, and again, let's all remember, this is his home. This is where he's from. He could very well make a living here as a professional defensive back for years to come without breaking the bank, for us. So I would say, he would probably be on the lower end of guys we would be willing to trade between now and Thursday. In fact, I would, if I was a betting man, I would say there's no chance in hell we trade Kendall Fuller between now and Thursday.
Oh, we can't. Oh,
we can't.
I hope not.
Yeah,
I love Kendall Fuller, and
too.
you know what? He competes, and I'm just saying he doesn't get all the accolades. I like that he's the quiet, silent assassin. He doesn't. He plays hard, and I love that he's a commander. I do. I'm glad he's on our squad, and he's going to be the guy that leads this younger room at a certain level of corners. And man, he's a great guy to have around. I just don't know I don't know how it all works for the money for him moving forward. That's all.
Sure.
But this year, it's great value having Kendall Fuller here.
I mean, he's not a high-priced guy now.
No.
So
he's
I don't
fine.
see him elevating. I don't see him becoming a high-priced guy.
This is the beauty of year 4 of a contract and having a guy that's fulfilled it to the best of his abilities. But he's another league guy, and we know that. And I'm just going to say right now, before we get off tonight, I think it's pretty freaking cool. There's a draft on Thursday night, and there are guys from T's high school, Ken's high school, and my high school that are all going to get drafted that we've covered. That's the first time we can say that. I'm not going to get into it in depth, but on Thursday night, we're all going to be rooting for the kids we've covered, the kids from each and every one of our high schools and others. And then next year, we'll be rooting for Gonzaga altogether,
and Carroll.
even though they're a rival. And Carroll. Well,
Gonzaga
next year is going to have two
top
top 5
10
guys next year.
top 10.
Well, the best O-tackle and quarterback. And by the way, the last thing I'll say, we invented the Caleb Williams thing 4 years ago. Tank for Caleb 4 years ago. We started talking about this 4 years ago.
We sure did.
That's all. That's all I wanted to say. Now,
AGH is
let's
our
keep going with
witness.
this draft stuff.
AGH is the witness.
Yeah, NES. I see you out there. I want to be able to click on your handle and get some more clues. But
no, it's better if you don't find out until you're supposed to.
The idea that we could get I mean, all right. So I do want to talk about Sam Howell for a second or two, but not right this second. The first thing I want to say, kind of on that same vein, is well, first of all, who's the guy? He plays for Penn State. He's the linebacker for Penn State. Who was in the DeMatha Gonzaga game? His father helped him off the field. Golden.
Oh, no, he's
Golden
not
Chumba. He's an
Golden
O lineman.
defensive lineman.
O line. Well, He was an
O-lineman
O-lineman when it happened that
Yes,
day.
and now he's
Olu
playing.
Fashanu's father.
Yeah, now he's playing. Now Golden Achumbo is playing on the defensive side,
Singing his
Penn
ass
State.
off, too.
Yes,
And singing national anthems pre-spring game. Yes.
yes. Awesome guys, awesome players. We're all going to be playing in the league. So I know AGH is the chairman of the Tank for Caleb Club. By the way, we're not taking for shit. If we want Caleb, we'll just trade. Well, that's
just
a
go
guy.
get him.
That's a guy you just go get. You know, someone's going to want to go get. And you just look at the quarterbacks that continue. Like if 4 or 5 guys get drafted in the first round this year, and all the guys who got drafted last. I mean, at some point in time. Everyone can't need a quarterback all the time. That price tag can't be.
I know, but think of this.
It's going to be a lot, though.
5 years of not paying a quarterback $30 million. We'll be a fossil. We'll be the last franchise that never paid a quarterback $30 million in 1 year. Because if we were to get him next year, that's 6 years from now. Not paying that dude 30. That's really good.
By the way, AGH was at that game. He was at that game at Gonzaga,
He was?
where Olu Fashanu's father helped Golden and Chumbo walk all the way around the field to the other side. These are all NFL. These are all future NFL players.
Well,
His dad
Fashanu
was wearing his
Golden's playing
Gonzaga.
in the NFL, right?
Let me just say this.
Fashanu's dad had his Gonzaga gear on,
Yes.
and he
They
was
were
helping
opposite-
the DeMatha
But they were
player.
both going.
They had both signed with Penn State. They were
Yes.
playing against each other that day. One got hurt. The other one's dad came out onto the field unannounced and helped walk him off. And we were, a little tear came. You know?
Yeah, it was because Olaf Fashanu is a gigantic man, and his father is shorter than me. It was awesome. And in that game, we could probably argue about the amount of pro player potential there. But let's talk about pro player potential from our league just for
Helms?
briefly.
Wasn't Helms in that game?
No.
Yes, he was.
DeMarco
Oh,
Helms.
no, he was gone in that
He
game.
was gone in that. He was not in that
He was-
game.
No, he was championship. You're right.
yes.
But yes, you're rooting for Helms, Spencer Anderson from Maryland, from McNamara coming out, and Rakim Jarrett. That's who's going to be drafted for us first.
That's
and foremost.
so
That's what we're rooting for.
Rakim
Let's
Jarrett,
go.
I believe, will get drafted in the second round. I believe.
I said third, but
If he goes in the
he's
third,
moving on up as of late.
Rakim Jarrett coming to this place would be amazing. You know who I'm worried about? I mean, there's just no way that Griff doesn't. Is Griff still with Atlanta?
He is.
There's no way Griff lets Rakim get past him in the third round.
Very true.
Brian Griffin is the director of coaching operations for the Atlanta Falcons, a friend of the show. He was the athletic director for St. John's.
Coaching operations?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And he knows Rakim Jarrett very well, obviously. And if Rakim Jarrett's in the third round, no chance the Atlanta Falcons pass on him. You heard that here first or 100th. I hope I'm not the only one to have verbalized that. No way Griff lets him get past him in the third round. But if he does, I sure would like to see.
Well, you can't just blame it on Griff if that happens.
I'm blaming it on
really
Griff.
isn't his final.
Oh no, I can see Griff like holding someone like hostage.
I mean, no offense to Griff, but in the pecking order you gave, I don't know if is Griff right up there.
I don't know. He always has more power than you think.
No, that's true.
I just know that he figures it out.
Even if you don't think so, he makes
Yes.
you realize when you're walking away. Wow, he really kind of took
Yes.
control.
I mean, how is he? When he was on the for the Redskins Falcons game, I was standing on the sidelines watching him, and I was like, I think he's calling plays. I think he actually just like subbed somebody out. And then, what's going on here? Like he's like, it was amazing. And he's an animal, as you guys both know. So we were rooting for our guys. All right, let's talk about Sam Howell just for a second. So all this stuff we talk about Caleb Williams is great, but we want Sam Howell to have a great year. We think he's capable of being a
Can't wait to watch
this year. The cool thing about it is he's healthy. He's participating in an offseason. He's getting coached by our current offensive coordinator, his second, but he's getting a whole full offseason with him. And we know that he has the tools to do the job. We don't have to go through it all again. He's capable of being a 4,000-yard, 30-touchdown, 10 or less interception quarterback in this league. And Trey Young for the win. Yo! Trey Young with a three-pointer with 1.8 seconds to go. Puts Atlanta up 119 to 117. I know you guys are watching that online. God Damn, that was a great shot. And that was just short of the logo. By the way, that's his like third or fourth 3-pointer from just inside center court.
I wasn't paying attention.
I can't. I mean,
I've been paying a little bit of attention.
I mean, Trae Young is fantastic.
There was a 10-point difference at one point,
Holy
and
shit.
they came back. So
If we could get Jimmy Butler to play a little wide out for the, or maybe safety outside. Buffalo nickel, Jimmy Butler sounds pretty nice.
All right, lightning round draft. Rhett, we need your help.
I wish the NFL had like 10-day contracts, like the
Best
NBA does.
TV or
Get
movie
LeBron
roles
for 10 days just to run one fly route.
played by
All
former
right, hold on.
football
Go ahead.
players.
I got to hear this again.
Best TV movie roles played by
TV
former football
movie role.
players.
Played by
Got it. I got my
Former
first one.
football
TV
players.
movie?
TV or movie roles
TV or movie.
or movie.
I see. I thought you said TV.
So we're gonna
movie.
go. We're gonna start
Like
this
the Sunday night TV movie. Like I didn't know how many football players were in the Sunday night TV movie. Okay,
Sunday night, like the Disney movie.
I
on
dibs
Sunday night?
first pick.
Or
Yeah,
movie.
any TV. You going first pick?
I dibsed it.
You
I
dibs.
don't know, but I don't know if that works. I just
All right,
dibsed
hold
it.
on. I hope you're not gonna take my guy.
Well, that's why I said I only have
You're
one
gonna-
guy. That's why I wanted to go first.
Uh,
Former football player, TV movie, cop.
Ooh. Wow. Are you
Is that what
gonna?
you said?
No. Former role.
Role.
Just any football player who played a role
Oh, in a movie.
in movie or TV.
Okay, a former football player.
Yes.
Okay.
A former football player. It has to be football. Rhett wants to go. Well, he dibs you on first. You get to go second.
No, Rhett can go first.
Rhett's going to go first.
Dan Marino, Ace Ventura.
I watched it today.
Dan Marino in Ace Ventura as Dan Marino. You're a weird guy, Ace. We've quoted him a number of times. You're a weird guy, Ace. Dan, that's none of your business. I appreciate you staying out of my personal affairs. Kevin, you get to go number 2.
Yes.
What's it going to be?
Hunter, played by Fred
Dryer.
Dryer.
I knew it. You know
And
what?
Dee Dee McCall, baby. You know how I feel
I know how
about
you feel
Dee Dee
McCall. I know how you
McCall.
feel about Dee Dee McCall.
Hunter, played by Fred Dryer, L.A. Rams, sackmaster.
I already knew you were going to take him. That's why I had no problem whatsoever
All
letting you
right,
pick
that's
him.
all. That's you know that's my go-to. But my
T,
next
I'm
one's-
going to let you
my
go
next
in
one's
front
better.
of me.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All day.
Very kind of you. I'm going to go with Bubba Smith as Moses Hightower in Police Academy.
Yeah, that's a great one. Hightower was it Hightower
Yes.
in Police Academy? It was
Moses
Hightower.
Hightower.
Moses Hightower. Okay. Bubba Smith was the great character in that movie, and that Police Academy, that was multiple movies. He reprised the role multiple times.
Was it NFL and college or just NFL?
We said football. We said football.
Got it.
We
Got
said
it.
football. I never said NFL, but we said football. But I'm assuming it's a famous football player. But I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go right where my heart went immediately, and that was Mr. Karras,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Papadopoulos.
Mr. Papadopoulos.
Mr. Papadopoulos from Webster. It was a great show that I saw when I was a kid, and he was kind of the man. Do we want to go a second round? I'll do a second round if you guys want to do
Yeah,
it.
second round. Let's go.
You sure?
We got to go back though, and the first can't go first again.
The first can't go first
Right.
again.
The snake always has to be equal part snake.
Equal parts snake. So that makes me draft first in the second round, according to the rules of snake drafting.
Yeah. Did you go last? You're a slithery snake.
I'm a slimy serpent. Slimy serpent.
You're a snake.
I'm a snake.
So I have a couple different options, I guess, to go with here, and I liked. I'm trying to. Well, we're not drafting Sling and Sammy. Oh, Sling and Sammy 2.0 blindside. Understood. I don't know. I might go Minnesota Vikings here. T. I'm gonna say I just.
Did you just pass on your draft?
I didn't pass on my draft pick, but I didn't get to the board fast enough, and I'm giving you the rights to draft ahead of me.
This is Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, I just Minnesota Viking it.
Lou Ferrigno.
Okay.
The Incredible Hulk.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna race to the board. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there now. I'm gonna go with The Rock. And I'm trying to think of my favorite role of The Rock.
He's borderline football player, right?
Well, he played at the U, and he did make it.
He
He
was
played,
on the team at the U.
He played.
No, he played.
He played in the league.
Played.
He played in the league.
Yeah, he had a run in the NFL. He didn't start. It was a program guy. Then his senior year was a starter, and then got all his due. Like the guys that way. He wasn't going to last long in the NFL, but he had a sniff.
I'm gonna go with The Rock in Walking Tall.
All right, I'm torn.
He was excellent in Gridiron Gang.
He was good. In spite of myself, I find myself entertained by him.
I'm going to go with Lee Corso's roommate, Burt Reynolds, and Cannonball Run.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm taking it back to the old
I thought
school.
I was dating myself with Lou Ferrigno, but
No, I don't care. I have, as you talked
If I
about
had a
earlier,
grundle-
T,
if I had a grundle like that, I'd date myself too.
T, if you had if this hair could reflect that amazing grundle like this on another Tuesday, then we should hit the big time in no time.
And Rhett, you feel like taking another one? Rod Tidwell is off the board.
Brett Favre.
Ooh, there's something about Mary. Brett Favre, and there's something about Mary.
that would be Favre.
I thought it was
Brett
going to be in that
Favre.
New York
And-
Jets microfilm that they stitched.
Greg, is that what you were talking about? Is that the most obvious one that Brett Favre? Is he the most obvious one?
I thought. Can I say what I thought the most obvious one was? Because it was
Please.
going to be my pick. So this will just be my extra. I love you too, Nordberg.
Nordberg.
OJ.
I mean,
OJ.
not because you should
You didn't
OJ
wanna
it.
do Nordberg
It's
in the
because-
real draft?
It's because right. I
Because
did.
you don't want to like
Mark
promote
Harmon.
murderers or
I know,
anything
I
like
know.
that.
Harmon was in the
but
league?
It was a great role.
Mark Harmon played. I think he played at UCLA
Harmon
or
played.
Florida State.
Yes,
UCLA, I think.
but didn't he play for Chicago too?
I don't know, but summer school was a great flick.
Lyle Alzado. By the way, Terry Crews.
I have him written down, but I couldn't think of what he played besides the weird.
Terry Crews counts, right?
Terry Crews was a Redskin.
He's a Redskin.
He backed up Ken
linebacker.
Harvey.
I know.
For years.
So weird.
I interviewed him, and his one thing he was like, I think I would have had a more successful career, but Ken Harvey never got hurt.
Right.
Ever.
Ever once. And by the way, did he do the boob thing to you?
He might have done it. It was over the phone. So if he did it, it was the first. It was an
He
interview
did
for
it.
the first Expendables. Yeah,
He did it.
Thank you.
He
Thank
totally did it.
He totally
I
did.
knew he did.
Oh man, Jim Brown. I'm gonna get you, sucker. It's a good.
It's cool.
Yet another great topic.
Ken Harris, it
proposed
is
by
UCLA.
by the
Nice.
board. Mark Harmon, UCLA.
Summer
There's a
school.
lot of guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys who had a cup of coffee in the league who played top level college ball who factor in here. I mean, go figure. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys who could walk onto the silver screen. Understood. I get it.
Well, yeah. Some couldn't. Like Joe Namath, not so good at this. No. But that was good. I do
Joe
appreciate
Namath had
that.
to have been
Hey,
in
by
the
the way, let's give it. Whose idea was
TV
that?
show.
I hate to say it. It might have been Greg Martin's idea.
Why would you hate to say it?
Because he's. I think right now he's berating some ducks on a bench by a pond somewhere, and I don't want to interfere with that.
Would it be safe to say there's no one on his lawn at this hour?
There's nobody on Greg Martin's lawn right now. Nobody. They better not be.
I actually literally kicked a kid off my lawn
Oh God,
a few nights ago.
that's the most believable thing I've heard all day.
I hope he was taking a dump on it because any other story is.
Bob Golick in the Saved by the Bell year.
And I thought
College
about
years
you
is a
guys.
great call, Greg. My boy.
What?
He needs to get on.
Giants. Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith.
Yeah.
Yep. And Howie Long and Little Giants. So there's a lot of guest stars, but
Right.
these and Dan Marino and Brett Favre, but you want actor wise, like people who actually put a role together with a name that wasn't theirs.
Horning.
running sprinklers. The guy from Little House on the
Horning was in
Prairie.
something, right?
Oh, Merlin Olsen, Robert Cohen. You're talking about Merlin Olsen. He was great. Merlin Olsen was awesome.
Paul Horning was in
Yeah, he
something.
was.
Paul Horning, I'm sure, was in something.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be?
And I'm sure he was gambling on
golden
something and hammered while acting in something because
It was
he was tremendous
kind
at
of a
all those
show.
things.
Listen, guys, we may or may not be live at some point between now and next Tuesday, but one thing I can promise you is we will be live next Tuesday night to talk about the Hall.
That's gonna be
Our
that's gonna be
presents.
bad.
We
Our
get to talk
Christmas
about our
Day
presents.
presents.
Yeah.
Our Christmas Day
Yes,
presents.
yeah.
This guy right here, he's all excited.
Unboxing.
You have to go to, if you don't, if you don't go to sleep, Santa doesn't come. You got to go to sleep.
Okay.
You just go.
Now you're making it weird.
Get in bed.
Again, you're just making it
to
weird.
sleep.
I don't know. Don't 69 Santa, okay?
Nobody. Dude, you're our lawyer. You're our general counsel. You're supposed to be better than that.
Not to do. I'll tell you
In
what
one sense, I thought I'd never hear
Don't
from anyone.
find Santa.
But it was like legit sound advice on one level.
It is actually
It was
good legal
legit.
advice.
It was
No one
legal
wins.
advice,
Nobody
actually.
wins.
I said, don't do it.
We all just lost. My stocking it's like a windsock. It was a stocking and now it's just lying there.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. It
Man,
happens to all of us.
how is that the ending? That was not the ending we were thinking of.
Never
Well,
is.
It never is. It never is.
We went how much?
No.
One.
Wait, we went like this time. This time, he pushed us 2 or 3 minutes too long, and that is
did
very
not.
rare. It's very rare.
Did not.
You made it.
I made myself cry.
You made it long enough to see it.
It's okay.
Benjamin is so. I can see the scowl on his face from here.
And right when T said that, Robert Cohen said, "The guy from Little House on the Prairie."
Yes, that guy.
Yes, we should draft Michael Landon with our 8th round pick.
No, he's talking about Merlin Olsen.
Whoever, man.
Whoever. Even
Michael
better.
Landon, wasn't he the Highway to Heaven, dude?
Little House on the
I
Prairie.
bet you if anyone played in the NFL, it should be Michael Landon. He was a badass.
He had a great haircut.
He had a great haircut, right? Just locks flowing out of the helmet. Yeah, Alex Karras was also in Blazing Saddles. You're correct, manner of speaking.
Alex Karras was
as
good, yeah.
always. But Mr. Karras was drafted by this guy. Well, listen, we're gonna be back in a week or less. Keep your eyes. Hey, you know what? How about this? If you want to know if we go live at some point in time between now and the draft, click that subscribe button.
Click it.
Click the notification.
Put your notification on because I
let you know.
realized my notifications somehow I turned them off. That's why I'm not getting notified.
You gotta
Turn
change
on your
that up.
Notifications.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for spending a Tuesday night with us. We will be back. Until then, he's Kevin Ricca.
Malik Cunningham, Ronnie Brown, or DeMarvion Overshawn. 2 of those 3 will be on our football team. Just saying.
He's T. Strachan.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. Good luck on Thursday, and let's talk about this on Tuesday night. If
Oh,
not sooner.
Hendon
wait.
Hooker,
No, yeah.
Anton Harrison, Steve Avila. One of those
Oh,
three
give me
guys.
Steve
will not
Avila.
be
on
Give me
our
Steve
team.
Avila. I want him on our team.
I love Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker's
I
not
don't know that it's even advisable for us to take him, but
No.
I do love him. There's so many guys who
Yeah.
how about this? Let's go out on this.
Out.
Best player in the draft. Best player. Number 1, best player. Forget about position. Forget about it. The best player in the draft. Putting you on the spot, Kevin. Give me a name.
Devin Witherspoon.
T, give me a name.
Jalen Carter.
Rhett, give me a name.
Ooh. Jalen Carter is going to be...
The right answer is Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is the best player in this draft. Until next Tuesday night, I'm Kim Arangolo on behalf of First Amendment Sports. This was Thank God It's Tuesday. We are still live.
It's definitely not Bryce Young, dude. Are you serious?
I didn't repeat his name. I didn't repeat that it was Bryce Young out loud. That Brett said Bryce Young.
I mean...
We'll see. We're still live, but we'll see. We will see.
The new test is no longer the Wonder Lick. That's the blah, blah, blah.
The
It's
W2.
The Heine Lick.
The S.
It's the Heine
W.
lick.
Yeah,
It's called the
butthole
W.
lick. Yep.
S or the
It's
S2?
wide shot.
No,
That's
it's called
the
the
wide
S2.
shot.
It's the wide shot Heine Lick test.
Right.
S2, isn't
And
it?
it is.
Yes.
It's-
They said
What does it even mean? What
they've
does it
said
mean?
I
that
don't know.
they,
You don't
they've
even
come
get
forward
points
and
for scoring
said
your name
no
right.
one has ever tested poorly on this and performed well.
CJ Stroud.
And CJ Stroud just got an 18%.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
got terrible.
historically low. And Bryce Young just had like the great. So I don't know what all that means. Don't care. But I do think Bryce Young is limited by his stature only.
Only. But he got the lick test right.